What is up, everybody? Happy holidays, and today's video is going to be about acronyms and common terminologies here in VGC. I mean, when you try to get into Pokemon VGC and you hear all these phrases and acronyms that you don't know, it can be like a barrier of entry, and it can be really scary to a lot of beginners. So I'm going to list out as many of the common ones that I can think of for you guys, so let's get into it. Our first section of acronyms and terms is going to be about the Pokemon Professional Circuit. That's how you get an invite to the World Championships and how you can become a World Champion. And just FYI guys, all of these events and stuff that I'm going to be talking about are currently on hold right now due to the world circumstances. So first up is a very popular one and an unfortunate acronym is CP. That is Championship Points. Now, in your region in the world, you have to get X amount of championship points to get invited to the World Championships, and you get those by going to these events that are also acronyms that I'm about to explain. The first one is IC. So that could be the International Challenge. Those are the online tournaments that we've been having right now, and we usually have about 2 to 3 of them a year during a normal season of Pokemon. And then there's also IC for the International Championships, which are things like Brazil, Australia, North America, and Europe. There is one a year. They are these big national events, and there are only 4 of those a year. So that's the IC, the International Championship. And then next, right below that is regionals, which people don't really usually shorten, but they could shorten it to Reg, R-E-G-S. And then there is an MSS. An MSS is a mid-season showdown. These are what you would call local tournaments where lots of them happen a year, and they give more championship points than the next event we're about to talk about, a Premier Challenge, but they give a lot less than regionals or the International Championship. And then next up, like we just talked about, is a Premier Challenge, which is a PC. That is the smallest form of CP gain in real life events. It's a local event. It could be at your local card shop, honestly sometimes at your local fast food joint or something, but yeah, those are Premier Challenges PC. And then next, we're all fighting to get to Worlds. That's how most of us usually deem it in the community. Not too hard to wrap your head around that. Worlds is the World Championships. It's invite only, and it's once a year. And then sometimes people throw around the term GS Cup. I believe the name comes from Gold Silver Crystal Cup, or Gold Silver from Heart Gold Soul Silver, but pretty much it is the format with restricted legendary. So if somebody is talking about GS Cup, they are talking about the potential of being able to use Kyogre, Groudon, Dialga, Palkia, Reshiram, that kind of stuff. And those kinds of formats only happen maybe once every 4 years or so. And then coming with that is the term restricted. They're like, oh, what are your restricteds? In those formats, the GS Cups, you can only use 2 legendary Pokemon on your team. So you are restricted to only having 2. So I would say my restricteds are Groudon and Xerneas. Next up, we've got some game mechanics terminology. These are going to be terms and acronyms when talking about how the game works, etc., stuff like that. So the first one is a big one. It is hacks, and I'm pretty sure it's derived from the term of hacking, like your opponent hacking into the game to get lucky. It's when you get unlucky or you get super lucky. You would say, I got hacked, meaning I got unlucky. So that's like getting paralyzed, crit, all that kind of stuff. Next is STAB, S-T-A-B. That stands for Same Type Attack Bonus. That pretty much just means that Charmeleon using a Flamethrower is going to do more than Charmeleon using Thunderbolt, because Charmeleon is also a fire type. It gets 1.5 times damage boost. And then next is redirection. When people are talking about redirection, they're talking about moves like Follow Me, sucking moves into themselves, Rage Powder, forcing moves in, Lightning Rod, forcing those electric moves, etc. Next is EVs and IVs. These are effort values and individual values. Effort values, I've got a whole video about those, but that's pretty much how you train your Pokemon and how you make them stronger. And then IVs is the stats that they latently have when you catch them. Like this secret stat you can't see of how strong their attack can be, stuff like that. Next up is the term pin. Now, I think this deserves its own video. I've been thinking about making a video on pins for a while now, but pretty much it is putting your opponent in an inescapable position where you click both Flamethrower into one slot and Earthquake, Earthquake to cover for like them switching or staying in. So that's a pin. And then next is an EV spread. Now, an EV spread is what effort values you are running. So you could be max attack, max speed, known as 252, 252. That could be your EV spread. Or you could be some really complicated thing like 108, 76, 4, 4, 252, something like that. That is your EV spread. And then spread can also refer to a move that hits multiple targets. So something like Hyper Voice or Heat Wave can be seen as a spread move. Next up, we have setup. Now, setting up is when you try to boost your stats over time. It's going to take you 1, 2, 3 turns to be able to set up, such as Geomancy on Xerneas, right? You have the power herb, you click Geomancy, it works in 1 turn because of the power herb, but you had to use that turn to set up, something like a Dragon Dance, something like a Tailwind, etc. And then next up, we have HO. That refers to hyper offense. These are the kind of teams that are very frail, you know, and they just try to destroy the opponent in a few turns. I've got a video on hyper offense as well. And then there's TR, that means Trick Room. Trick Room reverses the speed bracket for 5 turns. So Torkoal is going to be the fastest thing on the field, for example. And then we've got cycling. When people talk about cycling, they are talking about switching out and in frequently. Pokemon such as Incineroar like to do this a lot because Fake Out only works the first turn that you're out. So you Fake Out, you U-turn, you switch back in, you Fake Out. It's this constant switching in, switching out type thing. You don't have to have Fake Out and U-turn to be able to do that, but cycling is the term of switching a lot. And then I would say people use the terms cheese or gimmick. I would say that these are strategies that mostly rely on the surprise factor, or they only have kind of one single strategy, and if it doesn't work, then they fail. That would be things such as like Chansey, Shuckle, Minimize stuff. That's the only thing they know how to do. It's very one-dimensional. And like crazy weakness policy stuff as well could be considered in that category. Next up, we've got items and attacks. Now, many moves and items are abbreviated to save that valuable syllable space. So I'm not gonna be able to name every single short named as there are a lot. But let's start with a few common ones. EQ refers to Earthquake, one of the best ground moves in the game. Blind Hypnosis is when somebody is trying to hit the move Hypnosis, which is only 60% accurate, without any form of accuracy boost. So no wide lens, no gravity, nothing like that. Screens or Veil, those refer to Light Screen and Reflect, and then Aurora Veil. And then we've got Bolt Beam. When people are talking about Bolt Beam, they're talking about having Ice, Electric coverage on the same Pokemon. So famous Pokemon are like Porygon 2, having both Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. It's just Electric and Ice has amazing coverage across the entire board of types. And then we've got AV, that's Assault Vest, the item that boosts your special defense. And then there's a lot of shortened names for items such as Band or CB, that's for Choice Band, Scarf, Specs, those are choice items, just dropping the choice. You could say Goggles for safety goggles, Policy for weakness policy. See, it goes on and on and on, so it's hard to name everything, but just put it in your mind, if you hear a shortened version, it might be something like that. And then there's also the Pinch Berries or the Thwomp Berries. That's Figgy, Ifafa, Wiki, Aguav, and Mago. Those are the berries that when in a pinch, so at 25% health or lower, heal you for 33%. It used to be 50, that's why they were so popular. They used to heal even more, but yeah. So those are the pinch berries people refer to as. Lorb is the life orb, just shortening it, and then Lefties is the item Leftovers. Now we've got some Pokemon teams and cores, and I would say that a good amount of these Pokemon in the game are abbreviated, kind of like items, so it's going to be hard to catch all of them, but let's see how much we can do. So there are some very popular team acronyms. Honestly, there's not very many going around right now, but there are a few, and some of these teams date back all the way to 2015, so I don't think they're super relevant, but I guess it's good for you guys to know. So the one all the way from VGC 2015 is called Chalk. That's Cresselia, Heatran, Amoonguss, Landorus, and Kangaskhan. Very popular team. And then in 2017, there was Fake PG. That is Feeny, Arcanine, Kartana, Electric type, Porygon, and Gigalith. So the reason these might help you is people try to build teams that work like those teams in the modern day. And then, so going on, we've got things like Venucol, that's referred to as Sun, that is Venusaur and Torkoal, an amazingly strong combination. And then right now we've got the Nut Core, that is Nihilego, Urshifu Single Strike, and Thundurus with Defiant. It's a very hyper offense strategy, HO. And then earlier in the year we had Ted. That was Togekiss, Excadrill, and Dragapult, 3 just really high base stat Pokemon that work really well together. And then there are lots of Pokemon that have their names shortened. Feeny, Lele, these are all the Tapus. They just dropped the Tapu off. Grim for Grimmsnarl. Lap for Lapras. T-Tar, Excadrill for Tyranitar and Excadrill. The Ice Horse for Glastrier or whatever. So there's a ton, and like I can't name all of those, but you'll pick those ones up really fast. So it's gonna be a lot faster than picking up some of the other things that hopefully you'll learn from this video. But yeah, and then we've got like the Fire, Water, Grass core. That one's pretty obvious. That's just having a Fire, Water, and Grass type Pokemon on your team because they held a, amount of defensive synergy just being together. And then we've got the Genies. That Genies is Thundurus, Landorus combo. Landorus likes to use those EQs a lot, and it won't affect Thundurus because he's flying type. Sorry, there was a loud truck going by. But the final one I would say is UB. Those are referring to Ultra Beasts. Those are the set of kind of weird, not legendary, but kind of legendary Pokemon from Sun and Moon. They all are pretty weird. They all have the ability Beast Boost, which boosts their stats when they get a KO. Those are Pokemon like Nihilego, Kartana, Guzzlord, etc. Well, alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this Acronyms video for VGC, the Video Game Championships. Man, I should have said that one at the beginning. So I hope this little video helped you guys out. I'm sorry if I did miss any acronyms. How about we comment down below on any acronyms that I might have missed. We're going to go full real YouTube now. Got to get those comments. And I've done a ton of guides for VGC on this channel. We've got team building guides, EV guides, I've got a best of 3 guide, you name it. So guys, feel free to check out the rest of the guides on the channel. It would really mean the world to me. I hope you guys are having a nice holiday season. We're going to be doing a 12 days of Eakes over on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming every single day from December 14th all the way up to Christmas. We're going to be doing some TCG openings every single day, baby. We are going to be rating and gifting 5 subs to a small streamer every single day. I'm going to be giving away 2 booster box, 2 of these Ultra Prism booster boxes here to the lovely viewers over on Twitch. And yeah, so it's going to be super fun. We're going to be doing a ton more interesting stuff too. So check that out, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, everybody.